How do people keep going when there is arguably no light at the end of the tunnel?
Fascinates me just as much as you. Like, and I am part of that nation, right? It's just something in the air. If you, when you're standing on that protest and you understand, okay, you probably see like thousands of people right now with you, but you know that you have millions ready to come like any moment. I think it's the support. Like, you just so much believe that there are so many people that will support you in this fight, which is why I think makes you definitely more courageous,
Knowing that you're not alone.
knowing that you're not alone. Yes.
Then the other question I had was, I'm looking at what's going on in Ukraine and I'm listening to the federal channels in Russia and propaganda, official opinion of Russian government. I can't help but have a question in my head. Say tomorrow Russia does win the war. What are they going to do with millions and millions of people in Ukraine? Are they
How
going to turn everybody into a slave?
But that's the thing, like, how will they win? Like, what is the definition of win? The definition of win is in their mind, and that's the illusion that they've been living with, is that we want to be part of Russia. I think they were pretty shocked themselves when they saw how much resistance there is. Probably like 99.5% of people, right? There was so much resistance. People were massively switching, are still massively switching from those who were Russian speaking are Ukrainian speaking, because, and they say, because everything Russian is so, I hate it so much. I don't want anything of it in my life. I don't want to hear a single Russian word in my life from this point on, because I hate everything that has to do with you, your culture, your language, and everything that you represent in this world.
Do you speak Russian?
Trying to forget.
Hmm.
I speak Russian, yes, but I don't, like, I can speak it, I can understand it, but I don't really do that anymore. And I've never really did. I had the need to either. But yeah, like, we had Russian language as the subject in school. I grew up bilingual because media was in Russian. Mostly when you turn on the TV, everything was in Russian. Then foreign literature subject in school, Russian was, I don't remember if Russian literature was a separate subject or if it was part of foreign literature, but we did have to read like Russian literature in Russian. So we didn't read the translations into Ukrainian, we read it in Russian. And when you read, you learn the language very fast too. So, and then like some of my best friends, like before the war, were Russian speaking. I was always speaking Ukrainian, they were speaking Russian to me. We could perfectly understand each other, right? But after the war, I don't have a single friend who did not switch to Ukrainian, like permanently.
Mm.
Like speaking at home, at work, everywhere else. Even my friend was telling me the other day this funny story. She's Russian speaking. She's from Sumy, and she said that she wrote this. She was at work and she was writing a message, like explaining something that she did, and she wrote like a very huge message. And then she realized it was in Russian, and she was like, "I had to delete all of it and rewrite it in Ukrainian because I'm not sending a message in Russian."
So many Ukrainians now, after the war started, refuse to speak Russian?
Yes. And of course, Russian propaganda is saying because they've been scared by our Nazi government, that's why they're switching to. Even those same, like, especially bigger bloggers, because this is like a good example, they're like telling them to their face, we hate you, that's why we don't speak your language. Well, they still managed to turn that around and say that because they're forced to, because they are oppressed,